In 2016, when the doctor said cancer, everything changed. What I didn't know then is that it would lead me back to something I had given up years prior, riding. Facing my own mortality made me rethink everything, especially waiting to live. Retirement is what everyone hopes to achieve, but we often wait until retirement to do the very thing that makes us feel alive. I've seen too many people wait until it's too late. Like this one couple I knew in college, they're basically our college grandparents. They took us in, they fed us oftentimes, they even gave one of my good friends a place to live. They had this large motorhome sitting in the yard. I never saw them take it anywhere, and one day I asked about it. The response hit me hard and it stayed with me all these years. So basically, they had a number of friends, and when they retired, they all bought motorhomes and traveled together. Well, after one or two trips, one of them passed away, wasn't really the same, and they never did it again. And this story and others like it really make me think. I mean, it's really caused me to try to balance living now and saving for later. But when the doctor says cancer, it affects everything and everyone around you. What I didn't expect is how it affected my wife. She realized she can't control when I die. She also saw the sparkle in my eye when I talked about the rides Dad went on. That's when everything changed. She stopped living with the fear of what could happen and started encouraging me to live now. And that's how I found myself walking into the dealership. You see, back in 2008, while she was pregnant, I had a fairly serious motorcycle accident. And she said I'd had to be 100 years old before I could get a motorcycle again. Happy wife, happy life, right? Well, kind of. But either way, I gave up the idea of the motorcycle for a while. But years later, with this new understanding of life and death, she said I should get a motorcycle. It didn't take me long, and I was the proud owner of a new 2015 Honda CBR 300R. On that bike, I wasn't a guy fighting cancer. I was just a guy on a motorcycle, and I started riding everywhere. I was enjoying riding so much that I signed up for the Tour of Honor, made it a Saddle Sore 1000, got second place in the state, and realized my 300 was a little small for what I was doing. All the while, I started talking to Dad and his brothers about riding to where they had always wanted to go, Key West. For them, Key West had always been a someday dream, and how often do those happen? But I had this brush with death, and I was fighting to live. So when I bought my Goldwing Woodstock, I had this big trip in mind. The guy at the dealership said, "Take the trip, don't wait." Woodstock had less than 50,000 miles. It is probable that the person who bought it did so after retirement. He took a couple big trips, and then someone got too ill or too weak to keep riding, so it became mine. And then I realized this bike wasn't just a bike, it was someone's unfinished dream. For whatever reason, they couldn't complete that dream, but I wasn't about to let mine slip away. Shortly after this purchase, I started asking about dates, and I started making reservations. That's when the trip became real to everyone else. So in 2018, I rode from Portland, Oregon to meet Dad and his brothers in Mississippi, then rode down to Key West. It was a trip of a lifetime that started a lifetime of riding together. That trip wasn't just about visiting Key West, which you should do, by the way. It was about making someday an adventure we have now built upon. We only get so many trips around the sun, so tell me, what's your someday dream? Drop that in the comments and let's make someday today. Until my next adventure, this is Redbeard. See you on the road.